Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Sorry about that. Just wanted to come on here and show you all this lovely digital kit from Studio28E. Cherie is the creator of this kit. She has a Facebook group. If you'd like to join, just head on over there and I'll post the link down at the bottom to the group. She made this kit and it's called Yellow and Lavender or something like that. I'll get you the correct name in a minute. I'll put a link down below to her Etsy shop. She does have an Etsy shop. I do apologize. I'm the worst at getting things prepared and ready. But I'll have the links down below to her Etsy shop, to her Facebook group. It's a wonderful group. We share a lot of finished journals. This one I made for me. And because I loved it so much, I'm not a fan of lavender, anything purple, but this kit just, I don't know, it caught my attention. And because it had lots of lovely images, and I'll show you my favorites, and I'll make sure to point out some of the beautiful, beautiful images in here that I just enjoyed working with. This is the outside cover. This is one of my favorite images here. This is one of her pages. I just took the pages just like they were. I didn't alter them in any way, as in digitally, cut and paste, or just took them out, printed them out. This is how the page came out, and I used it as my cover. It's not a very rigid cover. I consider this more like a soft cover. I decorated a little bit with a little bit of trim, and I'm going to use this as a list journal. I am a lister, and so I like to make lots of lists. And I thought, well, why don't I just give myself a journal where I can list all my projects, or all my swaps that I'm in, stuff like that I do for crafting. So that's why I named it Accomplished Creative Beauty, because that to me, it signifies the use of this journal. I used a little bit of sari silk that I was gifted here for the closure. I just punched a hole in it, tied a knot at the back, just a simple knot, and then did the same for the back panel. We open it up, and I did a little bit of sewing. I'm not a great sewer. That's why I don't do a lot of it. I do have a brand new sewing machine that my mother gifted me like 2 years ago. And this book belongs to tuck spot right here. I made this a tuck spot. I left this because I wanted to put my name on it. I haven't yet, but I will. Of course, this page I thought would be perfect. I sewed all the way around it, and then I glued it onto the page just by, gluing the bottom and the sides, and left the top open for these tags, which, if you can see these images, they have lines going through them. That is not a defect of this kit. Cherie makes wonderful kits, and they're beautiful when they're printed out. I just couldn't get my printer to print out. For some reason, it's going wacko. So please excuse the images. They're not at their best in my journal. So I do apologize for that. But you can see that some of them have lines. I don't mind. It's for my list. And I also backed these. These were tags that came in her journal kit, and I backed them up with coffee stained school lined paper, just regular school lined paper. And that's that. I left this to make my list here of what book was going to be used for what. One side's going to be listing what this book has, and I have 2 signatures, and the other side will be listing the other book. So this is one of her images. It's just lovely how she combined these images together. And I edged almost every page. Actually, almost every page is coffee stain. Some have stenciling, some don't. I just felt like, you know, if the page wanted it, needed it, called for it, then I did it. I just used her full-size pages, and I trimmed them in a little bit because they, you know, they would stick out if I didn't. So any images that are cut off, like this one has, you know, had more this way to keep this centered, and but because I cut them off to make them fit inside the cover, they got a little bit chopped off. So, and then I used you know, the writing paper that you buy at the dollar store. This is from the dollar store. I had coffee stained it. I think I oven dried these, which I didn't like so much. I like air drying my pages, but this one I oven dried, and they become really brittle. So these pages might not make it. They might break on me, but for right now, I love the color. I love the way they turned out, so I left them in there, and I used them all. Here's the back. They're not lined. Here's one of the pages that I did a little bit of stenciling on. And this is another one of her images that I used as a pocket. This is actually from a field note guidebook that I had just recently torn up. And I bought that on eBay, I believe. And I will put the name of the book that I bought in the description down below. This is another page she put, and this is why I love this kit, because this is what I had in mind. I've been gearing up to make a list journal, a journal for making lists, and I wanted it, you know, pages that had lines in them, because I'm a line person. I need something to keep me straight, because if you give me a blank page like this, I'm all over the place, and it just looks wonky, and it makes me, you know, nervous to write on a page like that. So I need lines to keep me straight. And so when I saw this, I thought, this is perfect. This will be beautiful. It's already decorated. I can write on it. It's going to keep, you know, the lines are going to keep me straight. So, and then I backed it up with another page that she had in her kit, which is like a marbleized, and I just absolutely love these. At first I didn't think I would, but I printed them out, and when I started inking them up, I just love the way they came out. This is another image that she had, also faint lines in there, but you can still see them. If I want to, I can write on this, you know, on this side, but I wanted, when I did my journal, I was facing pages to have like one pretty side and one side that I can write on. And I'm a right-hander, so writing on this side is kind of cumbersome, but that's just the way the book turned out, the journal turned out. So this is another image that I backed up. I double-sided most of my pages, I think all of my pages except for these, you know, handwriting pages that I got from the dollar store are double-sided. This is one of the images from that field book that I was talking about. It has beautiful, beautiful flowers in there. I left them just as they were. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this page right now, but that's, you know, I like looking at letters and book pages, so this is perfect for me. This is like the pretty side for me. This is another one of her images. It's a little tiny stamp, and it's gorgeous. It's got little field flowers, and I put just a little bit of that, I think it's a shelf liner that I got from the dollar store. I just kind of went with it because it's kind of frilly. I love the way it, you know, it breaks off when you just tear it with your hands. I rip it apart, and I glued that to the back, and I just like the, you know, the look that this material gives. This is the rolls that you find that are kind of like rubbery feeling. I think they're called shelf liners, but I'm not too sure. And And I found those at the Dollar Tree. And so this is another image. This image, I believe, came from another kit from Garden Vintage Ephemera or something like that. I'll have the link to that one where I got it from. The butterfly is from Cherie's kit, and I just cut it out. I cut quite a few images out. She has 2 pages worth, I believe, of just ephemera, little stuff, that fussy cutting stuff that you can do. This page I backed up with my coffee stained regular notebook paper, and then I inked all the edges. Here's another bit of the stenciling that I did. Some stamps, some tickets that she made on her kit. Here's another ticket, and I just backed it up with a little bit of touch of yellow, which I didn't have any because I'm not a purple person. I'm geared towards pink and beige, and so most of my... Sorry about that, my camera cut me off. I think I got a message or something. But yes, most of my ribbons, as I was saying, are geared more toward the pink and beige side and browns, because I love vintage. So yellow, I have hardly any yellow. I don't have any lavender. I don't have anything, hardly anything purple, purple-y, nothing. And so I was like, well, I'm up a creek with that, because I really didn't want to go out and buy more stuff, because I've got plenty, just to not those particular colors. So I hope I moved my book too as well, because I looked at the video and the segment before, and I wasn't all in frame. So hopefully I am now, and let me double check. Yes, okay. So just as long as I keep it below here and above here. I'm just going to mark my screen while I'm at it. And I'm on my rolling chair, so forgive the noise when I get up and down. I scooted in. This is another one of her marbled lined papers, which I loved, ended up loving, because once I started inking it, it just gave it such a rich, you know, dare I say it, filthy look. But I love that. I love that about, you know, that's the beauty of vintage. It looks dirty, it looks old, it looks used and worn and aged. So I love that part. Here's another one of those same pages I had at the front. I really like these because they remind me of like little notepads, and I thought that's perfect if I want to just, you know, scribble a note here or there. And then I left this because I just love her images. The time she took to make this, I wanted to showcase it. So if I write anything, it'll be up here, and then just leave this for show, something pretty for the eye to land on, right? Here's another one of those coffee stained pages. Here I just took one of her images and made a tuck spot, and just grabbed some regular school lined notebook paper and trimmed off the holes, trimmed off the, you know, the raggly parts, because I literally tore this off of a spiral notebook. So, and then I just rounded the edges on these pages just to, you know, give it a finished look. I love the coffee stain on that. And here's the other field notebook that I purchased on eBay. Got a little bit of scraps in there. And I love that because it had some yellow in it, had some browns, and I love that. I love the drawings on it. And here's another one of her marbled purple lined pages. I did a little bit of stenciling there. And this is the center image. This is the backing of this paper. Okay, take 3. Where was I? Or 4, whatever number we're on. This is one of her images that she has, and I love the colors in it, the feathers, the angel, of course, and it had that purple marbly background on it. So I wanted it to be center stage in one of my signatures. So I put it in the middle so that I could have something, you know, pretty to look at in the center. I don't know if I want to cover it up. I just wanted, you know, to showcase it in the center. And there's the back of that page. Here's another one of those books. And I did find those books to show you guys now in my you know, take and retakes. This is one of the books, Garden and Field Birds, Eggs and Nests, nearly 200 illustrations. That's from that book. And then the flowers come from Wildflowers, Ferns, and Grasses, over 150 illustrations. This I got from eBay, I believe, and they were really inexpensive, so I took advantage. This is one of her envelopes that she has in her kit, and I just decorated a little bit. I don't know what I did wrong with this envelope, but I had a boo-boo. I folded it the wrong spot, so I had to cover that up, so I put a little bit of decoration on there. But I backed the cardstock that was the envelope with a little bit of another image that she has, and I printed that on regular paper and then glued that to the back of the envelope. And then I cut it out and folded it, and that's another little notepad. That is not in her digital kit. That is my printer that's going haywire. Again, I remind you all, don't judge her kit by my printouts, is what I'm trying to say. Here's the back of, you know, one of those elementary pages where you practice your writing skills. And I love that look, the dotted lines and the harsh, you know, the straight lines. So this is the other side of those pages that I just showed you. Here's another envelope that I absolutely loved, and I love the shape. I love the image on here. I took it and I took one of her other images, did the same thing as I did. This one doesn't have anything, but I am planning to put something in there, maybe another little journaling spot for me. I did a little bit of stenciling on this page. Most of my pages that are, you know, from the writing tablet from the dollar store, I went ahead and stenciled on it because I like a little bit of something pretty to look at while I'm writing. And I just paper clipped that. I have some gold paper clips somewhere, but I have no clue where they are right now. So I didn't want to take the time to look for them. So for right now, they're just being held on by regular office paper clips. This is one of the images. I think this one's from the flower one, from the flower book. And here's the other side of that image with the purple edge. That other side didn't have this split, which I love that border image. Just gorgeous. And you'll see that in a minute too. Here's the other side. This one again has lines in it. Lots and lots of lines in this whole kit that I absolutely loved. Here's one of her fussy cutting images. I did the same thing. Took regular notebook paper. This one I did a little stenciling on, so it wouldn't be totally, you know, empty. A little stenciling above and below her, that angel. And I just kind of glued it on this edge. These lines are not from her kit, guys, okay? This is my printer. I don't know what's wrong with it, but I think I got it fixed, but I had already printed all these pages and I didn't want them to go to waste. Here's another page. I had some stencils on there, or a stencil of a butterfly, because this kit does have some butterflies, birds, and angels, and I just love all of those. And I think that's why I picked it, not mainly because of the color, but I thought, well, you know, stretch yourself. Even though I don't work usually in these colors, I absolutely love the images when I first saw them. And I don't regret getting this, choosing this as my design team project. And this one back here is just gorgeous. I love this page. This is the other side of this one. So, and when you go see the kit on her Etsy page, you'll see all the images. Well, I think you will see all the images on there, and you'll be able to figure out how they're laid out. This is my second signature. Now, if you can see, you probably already guessed by now how I did this. This is elastic in here, so I made my signatures. I did a 3 pamphlet stitch on these signatures, and then I just tucked them in like a traveler's notebook kind of journal, because that's just that I like that. I love the flexibility. If I fill this up, I can still use a cover, and if I want to, and I can refill it, or change it out. If something happens to this signature, I can switch it out and make a new one. So that's why I love the versatility of these traveler notebook bands that we can use. And here's another image. This is from that other kit, that other little paper. I made my own stamp for lines, because I don't have any lined stamps that I can use that are for journaling, and I wanted truly this one to be something that I had lots of space to write in. And this is one of the other images, book plates I think they're called, and I just kind of glued these edges side down and made it like a belly band. This is the other another page of hers that she's done, and I backed it with that purple lined paper or image. And this is one from the books for the birds. What is that called? Garden and field birds. This is another. I love the music note lines in here that you can see. I think I had an accident. I don't know if you can tell, but this image is upside down actually, because flowers don't grow like that. But anyway, I printed it accidentally wrong. And so I thought, you know what, it's okay. It's my journal. I'm going to use it. Nobody, is going to worry about if the images are right or wrong way. But I liked it, and I thought, I can make it work. Junk journals are what you make them. If they're for you, then you make them the way you want to, and live with the flaws. That I don't think it's a flaw at all, because I like the quirkiness of it. I like the way it's upside down, even though I can't write straight without lines. This is just something pretty I can look at while I can write over here. And I'll probably I have two stamps that I made that I use string and cardboard, and I glued the string down, and Al John on YouTube has a tutorial on how she did hers. And I wish I had thought about showing you the stamp that I made, but it is really nice if you want something lines that are thinner, because as you can tell on this one, these lines are pretty thick, and I don't mind that. I think it looks cute. I love the lines, the way they turn out. You can actually see the grain of the string that I used, and it's just regular. I don't even remember what string I used from the dollar store, I think. But I'm thinking of stamping this one, because I made a narrow one to fit narrow pages and a wider one to fit a bit wider page. A little bit of stenciling here. This is the other image that I just adored, and I wish I would have made this a center page, because it's gorgeous. I love the way she kind of put all these images together on one. I love the background on here, and it's backed up with one of her yellow lined pages. Here's another one from the book. And oh my goodness, I'm running out of breath. A little bit of stenciling on this one. This is one of her little fussy cut items that she has, as well as this one. I'm not sure exactly what her intentions were with this, but this is what I did. To me, that looked like a belly band. So it was a little bit too long for my book, so I had to cut it down, kind of curve the edges. I tried it on this side with one of my, rounded corner punchers, but it didn't work. So I just kind of hand curved the other side just to, I don't like straight lines, as you can tell. My whole book, I punched it out with the corner puncher, and I don't like these sharp corners. They just, I don't know. They remind me of something, and I don't know what it is. But anyway, this is the other page that I love. That's why I didn't use that other one, because I love this one more than the other one. And I absolutely love, you could even take this image print it out on cardstock, and then fussy cut all of these, or even make them into little domino images. You can cut them out, punch them out with some circle punches, and make you some really pretty button looking ephemera. I mean, there's just so many things you could do with this page alone, not to mention all the rest of the other pages that you get with this kit. And that's why I put it here, because I absolutely love all of this page. And here's a little bit more of her fussy cutting. She's got like a button card. It says Mrs. C's Fancy Buttons. Here's one of her tags that she has. And this one I just left it. I just kind of inked it on the back. And then I made a little extra little book. Another journal inside the journal. And, oops, here's her. And this is what I love. This is why I made it. Because she has these tiny little bitty tags in here. And tiny images. This is actually from an actual large page, but I had shrunk it down and printed it like two of the same images on one paper. And not front to back, but like on the same side. And so when the images came out, I hadn't noticed these until I started fussy cutting something else out. And I thought, oh, look, it has a little butterfly. I'm going to cut that out individually from, I think it was a card. And, but I love these images that she actually has for you to cut out. And they're one of the fussy cutting images along with the circle, this circle image here. And then here are all the other tiny ones that I had left over, or, you know, wanted to use in this book. One of her tickets here. Let me see if I can find the rest. Yep, this is actually one of a page that she has. And it's surrounded by other collaged images, but I just wanted this part. So I got it and I put it there. You know, I don't know what I'm going to use this except for making more lists, this book. But, and I don't think I have any more in here other than, oh yeah, the tiny little Mrs. Cog's, or Mrs. C's, sorry, fancy buttons. And here's her other tiny little belly band, and a little card that she also has. I did not back that up with lined paper. I just kind of inked a little bit around it. So that's that in there, and that's also the 3 pamphlet stitch that I put that together, how I put that one together. Here's some more of her stamps that she has for her, from her kit. This corner pocket also, I think I have one, the other one that I showed you is also from her kit. She has that image for you, so all you have to do is cut it out and fold up the edges, and then glue it down. So that's pretty easy. This is another one from the flower book that I got, a little bit of stenciling. This is the other side of that gorgeous page. I love it. I love it. Here's the larger image of that belly band. And I used it here to keep one of her images. This is like a card, so I lined it with notebook paper. And so I love that image. That the purple in here is just beautiful. These lines do not come out in her kit, guys. Remember that. This is just from my printer. My printer was acting up. I could not get it to print right, no matter what settings I put. And I cleaned it, and I, you know, cleaned the ink cartridges out. And it still wouldn't print right. So I'm not sure what's going on with my printer. This is the other side of that upside down page that I printed. And this is the other side. It's just gorgeous the way she did these images. And I absolutely love this kit. I would recommend it 100% for anybody who, you know, who loves these colors, these images, lined paper. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's perfect for what I was looking for. Here's another one of those images. I had the other one, I think, inside the other book, the little tiny book. And I just love that. So I wanted to cut her out. And here, this one, I did absolutely nothing. So it's, you know, I can still add to my book once I start. And this is the end of the second signature, which I love this image. This image comes on, is a complementary side to this one. And this is the image that I used inside the envelope that I made, the bigger envelope that she has. I lined the inside of that envelope with that image. And this is from that same kit with that old, let me see if I can find it. Those three are also part this image. So these three back here, that one, and that third or fifth image in there are from a different kit, and I will put that link in there once I find it. And for you guys, this is also one of her pages. I think that's the only page. No, there's another page I didn't use in this kit, and I completely forgot to print them out again. That's why I didn't use them. But this is part of her kit that is an actual page, and that's just the border on one side. And I really love I think these are lilacs. I'm not sure. But I thought, oh, wouldn't that be perfect for a belly band? And then once I had it torn, then I thought, oh, let me ink it a little bit. So I inked the sides. Then I had leftover ink on my surface, so I wet it down, and then I kind of sopped up the rest of it with this paper. And so that's how that turned out, because it is a lot lighter. It's not as grungy as this looks. This whole book is very, very grungy, but that was my intention because I love vintage looking items. And this just, I love the way it came out. I really do. Her images are just perfect. If you think they're too bright, just add slap on some ink on the edges, and it's perfect. And I did want you to show you guys, this is also one of the images that she has in her kit, and it to me is absolutely authentic. I don't know where she got that image from, but it's gorgeous. I loved it. And I kept switching out because I was trying to find the backing, because I printed this on regular white cardstock, the cover. But I wanted something to back it up, and I didn't want it to be thick, so I had to print it on paper, or I did print it on paper. But I didn't want it to have lines, because that wasn't going to be the purpose of the cover. I didn't want that to be. I want it to look like an actual book when you open up a book. And that image that she gave us in that kit is absolutely perfect. So I hope you guys enjoyed this journal, this kit, and go to my notes below, click on the link, go to her Etsy shop, take a good look at it. You won't be sorry if you purchase it. It's absolutely wonderful. Come on over to Facebook and join us on Studio28E Facebook page, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.